welcome to the Benched NFL podcast. That was a little weird. My name is AJ Woodson. I am your host for today. Let's get that volume down a little bit on that song.
Yeah, the band's going. Sorry, first time producer. Band just won't stop playing.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Benched NFL podcast. I am your host for today, AJ Woodson, with my partner in crime, Mr. Gabe Tovar.
Yo.
Gabe, what's up?
What's up, man? What's going on?
Man,
I like the matching shirt with the hat. You got the compliment on the shirt last week, and you just said, hey, what the heck? I'll bring the shirt to match.
Did I wear this last week?
You wore the hat.
Oh, I wear this hat like every day
And then
now.
you brought the shirt today.
Yeah. I went from the white, all-white dad gang hat to this color. I'll probably get a new one. Father's Day's coming up.
Day, a couple days. Yeah, there you go.
And, I got to keep it matching head to toe. Over at the producer's desk, Joey Tovar, learning the ropes, keeping us going, taking a couple shots.
Is that how you do it?
That's a lot of shots there. It's a shotgun.
And then AJ's usually the
Or one of these, like a little black guy. Yeah.
cool guy thing.
Kind of letting you
It's
know.
different every time.
I should have brought my shoes. A bunch of sandals.
Some Crocs.
Some Crocs up there. They're all dirty.
Well, you are probably wondering what's going on. Little different show today we got for you. Little different spots. Joey, you want to explain to the audience what's happening?
Yeah, go and explain myself here. I'm supposed to be halfway around the world. That's what's going on.
Literally.
I'm not supposed to be here. This is supposed to be Gabriel and AJ's episode, the producer show. And I was supposed to watch it for the first time sometime in the middle of the night in Greece. I'm supposed to be over there for a wedding. I had a little passport mishap here. And I guess I should share it just in case if you're thinking about traveling abroad.
Oh, yeah.
At any point here in the future, just know that the expiration date on your passport means absolutely nothing to the Europeans.
Those darn Europeans.
So basically, long story short, flying to Greece by way of Istanbul, flew 13 hours to Istanbul. Right, I had 1 hour left to Greece. Was not allowed in Greece because my passport expires in 1 year. 1 month, and not allowed. So. Come to find out, it's also not allowed in Italy, Switzerland, or France, which is the other three countries I'm supposed to be traveling to in the next week or so. So I am back, 13 hours back to the States.
That's unreal.
The little Turkish kid behind me stole my neck pillow. Found out 13 hours later, but here I am, supposed to get a new passport in a couple days and right back to Italy.
Man, I don't know how you're walking around.
I have to tell him that I was telling him on to drive over here. Your body is hating you right now.
Oh yeah.
The confusion you're putting your body through is it's insane right now.
Yeah, so last 48 hours, 13-hour flight to Istanbul. In the airport, 16 hours. Put in 10,000 steps with a good 40 pounds on my back. Then 13 hours back here in the morning, slept 10 hours on the plane. Feel like $1 million.
I mean, you look great. I'd not be sitting here if that happened to me.
I'll pull back the curl a bit. Haven't showered since Sunday.
He did tell me on the drive over here.
I've been on a plane or in the airport, and literally I haven't even gone to my house yet.
Yeah.
When we got here, I came straight to the studio here in Studio 604.
604.
And I literally have not been into my house yet.
Wow.
So.
Wow.
Bravo.
I'm glad I look at it. I'm a little greasy. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely jump in the shower.
Hey, well, we're glad to have you. If you're new here on our YouTube audience, welcome.
Hi.
Make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, give us a like. Listen on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. Does anybody use Amazon Music?
You use iHeart? I was actually thinking that right now.
You know, it's funny. I think we have Amazon. If you're a Prime owner, I think you have Amazon Music for free.
Well, if you have it, we're available on there too. So
catch us on there.
Go catch us.
Like, subscribe, turn on notifications, leave a review.
Yeah.
We should leave reviews. I haven't left a review
I'm going to leave a real nasty one about you.
Oh.
I'm not gay.
Something along those lines.
All right, let's get back on track. Follow us on Instagram, X, TikTok. Follow the show, Between the Show. Gabe's working on some reels coming up. Gabe's been killing it with the reels. Gabe and Joey been knocking it out of the park.
Yeah,
with
we
the
have
reels.
a lot of cool things planned for you guys. Like in all seriousness, we got some cool stuff planned coming the preseason and then the regular season. Me and Joey are just in the kitchen cooking right now, so be on the lookout for that.
Yep. Speaking of things to be on the lookout for, check out benchedshow.com. Sign up for weekly bench report for free. We've got some awesome things coming down the pipe during the season, during the preseason. You don't want to miss it. Catch up on the Benched Beat. You're going to get articles on fandom, fantasy, and all things NFL.
This segment is brought to you by Dad Gang Hats. Dad Gang makes the highest quality hats in the apparel industry because they use premium materials, pay close attention to detail, and prioritize durability and comfort. With so many styles, colors, and designs, they absolutely have the right hat for you and the dad in your life. Use code BENCHED76826. That's BENCHD 76826 for 15% off your first purchase. Shop Dad Gang Hats, quality hats for quality dads.
We got some birthdays today, Joe?
Yeah.
All right, boys. Yeah, we got some birthdays. Happy birthday. Let's start this off to Shia LaBeouf. Let's start right there.
Oh, man.
38 years old. Shia LaBeouf.
Wow. He's always that little kid on Even Stevens to me.
It's funny. I saw a video today talking about some of the best, like, cut to black movie endings of all time. Top on that list was Transformers. You got that Optimus Prime speech,
The great
Shia LaBeouf
speech.
making out with Megan Fox on the hood of a
Linkin
car.
Park, the Linkin Park
Yeah,
song
What I've
finished.
Done.
Yeah.
Just, in a face of, like, directed by Michael Bay.
Yeah, great,
It's one of the,
great,
Shia
great
LaBeouf,
ending.
man. Yeah, Even Stevens, Transformers.
Happy birthday, Shia.
Happy birthday, man.
Yeah.
Does 38 years old kind of surprise you? Or does that seem about right?
It's about...
He was early 2000s.
You hear the number and it's
yeah.
like, whoa, but then, yeah.
It does make
He's
sense,
been
yeah.
around for such a long time.
Happy birthday, 55 years old today, Peter Dinklage.
Oh.
Wisest man in West.
Our favorite little man.
Yep. The
The only little man.
The Hoffman.
The hot,
Yeah, man.
Great guy.
Happy birthday, Gene Wilder.
Oh, wow. Is he still alive?
Nope, he's not.
Nope,
Sadly,
died
he's not.
2016.
I was going to say, yeah. Wow.
But I mean, great. I mean, you know what, man? One of my favorite movies of all time, Willy Wonka. One of my dad's favorite movies of all time, Richard Pryor.
Stir Crazy. I thought that's what you were going to say. Like,
No.
Not one of my favorites.
No. My dad loves that
Man,
movie.
my dad loved
Gene
that movie,
Wilder
too.
plays opposite of yeah.
Made me watch it. It sucked.
Great. I mean, it's funny every now and then, but then you come back to life like, yeah, it was definitely made 30,
Different time.
30,
man.
40 years ago.
Comedy was not the
It
same.
was not the same at all.
If I may, boys, happy birthday, but go rot in a pit. Diana Taurasi.
Oh. Gabe has no idea. Brand new member of the Team USA women's team that is without Caitlin Clark.
It's amazing how much I was offended by that.
And let me throw something at you. I saw this today. Their stats this season are identical, but Caitlin Clark is beating her in assists.
If I may, I made a little decision today. I'm back out on women's basketball. I'm
Yeah.
done. I'm done with the jealousy.
Yep.
I'm done with
Yep.
the drama. Go Caitlin Clark, but honestly, I can't stand the rest.
It's
of it.
ridiculous. It's crazy.
It was bothering me today. I was watching that famous picture. What's the girl, the ice skating girl in the 90s that hit what's her name's knees?
Tanya Harding?
Yeah, you that famous picture of her skating past her, and she's looking at her in pure jealousy, and says the WNBA.
That's the rest of the
Caitlin Clark.
WNBA. Yeah.
It's like that's such a
It
shame
really
that your
is.
moneymaker is hated this much.
I saw another clip of this girl just throws her whole body weight into her, right?
Oh, the back one? Yeah, I saw that.
Caitlin still plays through the contact. Ref calls a foul. And then the girl makes the motion. Oh, she's flopping. I'm like, dude, you threw your whole weight into her. She continued to play. And honestly, when I saw that, too, I was like, then you just can't have nice things.
Happy birthday, 68 years old, Joe Montana.
Oh, man.
He was the GOAT.
The previous
He
GOAT.
was the GOAT
Yep,
before
yep,
the GOAT.
before
so
the GOAT.
You gotta tip your hat to
Our
Joe
father's
Montana.
goat, if you will.
Oh,
Yeah, your
Wow.
father's GOAT. That's a great way to put it.
Nowadays, we just get a goat every 5 years.
Yeah, we might be looking at another one with Patrick.
Probably
Mahomes.
watching one play right now.
All right, just a couple of quick news stories for you today. Big day for CMC, Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Tom Pelissero reporting Christian McCaffrey is officially the cover athlete for Madden NFL 25, and we'll discuss it on Insiders. And we're not plugging that show.
We're not doing that at all.
Come on, Tom. I love this.
I love this too, but there was one person, I was going through a list, there was one person I thought is probably a little bit more deserving than CMC.
Lay it on me.
Can you guess who first?
Well, you're going to say Jaden Reed or Jordan Love?
Now, hear me out. No, I like CeeDee Lamb here. I think CeeDee Lamb would have been perfect, a Dallas Cowboy, which everyone would hate / love. He did have a booming year. Not that CMC didn't, but it's like, okay, we know CMC's the best player in the
I
league,
like
but
that, and you might hear a little CeeDee Lamb love from me later on in the show. Come on. I think this is, you talk about more deserving, like maybe over the year he was more deserving, but this is like a lifetime achievement award right here. At this moment in time, he was the offensive, forgive me if I'm wrong, he was the offensive player of the year last year.
Yeah.
Number one pick in fantasy. It's about time for Christian.
Single-handedly beat my Packers.
And
in the playoffs,
we've
too.
talked, we've talked about this on the show. That we thought he was done.
Yeah.
3-4 years ago, we thought he was absolutely done. Goes to the 49ers, kills it the rest of the year he's there, has a full year, absolutely kills it. I think it's perfect.
What's
timing.
even scary about this too? He just extended his contract.
Right,
So like,
right.
I mean, we probably think, he's going to slow down now. He could probably do this for another 4 years if he really wanted to. I like it. It's fun. It's cool. The kids are going to like it. But again, if we're talking about just like, now the one thing I do want to ask you, and it's it's all conspiracy. Are you worried at all with the Madden curse?
No.
Joey, are you worried at all about the Madden curse?
No. CMC, ever since he did not play for the Panthers anymore, is all of a sudden a very healthy individual, very dependable individual, and happy to show up to work every single day.
Yeah, okay.
Quick question for both of you. What's your favorite Madden cover?
Oh, man.
I know
For me, I thought the one where they did the two players was really cool when it was Troy Polamalu and Larry Fitzgerald. Is that 2010?
That's 2010.
2010,
And Joey, what's yours?
That's easy. It's Michael Vick, son.
Oh,
Michael Vick,
04.
100%. Have an interesting here little stat line on Christian McCaffery. To see him up here on this list is incredible because if we remember how bad it got in Carolina for Christian McCaffrey, let me read you these year stat totals. Okay,
there we go.
It is 2020 to 2022. 59 carries for 225 yards on the year. That's 5 touchdowns. 2021, 99 carries, 442 yards, 1 touchdown. His last year in Carolina, 85 touchdowns, 393
85 touchdowns.
85 carries, 393 yards, 2 touchdowns. It got really, really bad in Carolina. If you would have told us in 2022 that, hey, yeah, Christian McCaffrey's actually going to be maybe the best player in the NFL and grace the cover of Madden, I would have been surprised.
Maybe deserving of the MVP award.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, no, I was just going to add on to what Joey said. Like, who knows, like, how good of a player he actually could be now versus what he actually is. If he would have started with he was with Carolina. Those stats are like, I don't think you even added up 1,000 yards in all 3 of those years. I think you were just under it.
Was he really hurt in Carolina?
No. He was saving his body for another team.
To answer my question earlier, I'm going to say Madden 10, and I actually brought my copy of Madden 10 with Larry
Nicely
Fitzgerald, Troy Polamalu. I kind of figured we'd discuss this topic today.
So a little shout out to my brother Angel. He's in Greece right now. He's having the time of his life. He knows, and I'm not kidding you. He knows every player
he does
in this game.
Top to bottom rosters. We used to do that in high school. Yep.
During high school, we'd be like, Angel, name depth chart 5 receiver on the Browns. Like, wow. He knew every single player in that Madden 10 game.
So Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, congrats.
You know what? And we talk a lot of crap about Madden. This kind of, I'm not going to say like I'm going to go out and buy it day one.
Well, the cover's not going to give me back.
It's not going to give me back, but that's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool cover to have. This would be a cool. Maybe I'll buy it next year when it's like $5.
I would just like to play a game where I don't throw 87 picks in one game because a safety can fly about 35 yards in 2 seconds. That'd be great.
Let's play some NCAA this year instead of Madden.
There you go.
All right, what we got next?
Well, I want to say real quick, 8 touchdowns in those final 3 years with the Carolina Panthers. 8 in those 3 years, 8 touchdowns. Last year for the Niners, 14.
Jeez, is that 8 receiving and rushing?
Rushing.
Just okay. Well, still, wow, that's incredible.
That's incredible.
All right, Ian Rappaport is reporting that the Steelers announced that they have signed head coach Mike Tomlin to a 3-year extension. His contract now runs through 2027. Are we going to see that streak keep going to 2027?
Joey needs to talk about they have huge faith in Fields. I got to be honest with you, my faith, just because I've seen him play with Chicago, you could make the argument it was the coaching, it was the play calling, this and that. I've seen him in Chicago, very streaky kind of guy. I don't know. That division as well,
right?
That's something you got to factor into. Can you go 500 in this division?
Yeah.
To me, when it comes to like the Steelers, it's not so much can you make a playoff run. It's can you even finish at, not that his streak's important to the team or anything, but like, can you even do that? I just don't know if he can need that streak.
And we've talked about how tough this division is in so many years. I think this is the toughest that division has been in the last couple of years. The Browns have taken a step up. If the Bengals can keep it together.
The Browns with the defense, the Bengals with the receivers, the Ravens with just everything else. Mm-hmm. And then you have to make either Russell Wilson or Fields work and be not just work, but you need to compete with those 3 teams. And I don't know if he gets to buy 500 a year, but good for him. He's a legend. He'll never have to buy a beer in that city ever again. He's loved. I like it.
Definitely the right move for the organization.
Mike Tomlin, 73 games over 500 in the last 17 years.
73 games over 500.
That's his whole career?
As the Steelers head coach, he has 173 wins, 100 losses.
Wow. That's pretty impressive.
How many Super Bowls? 2? I'm guessing 2.
Don't have that in front of me. But kind of interesting, playoff record, 8-10, under 500.
Wow.
That always tends to be a thing. Have you ever noticed that with like really good football players and really good coaches, their playoff records are always like, why is it so like?
Well, I think it's just the nature of the NFL. It's the only major league where it's a one and done playoff.
Right.
Like, so you can peak early, get into the playoffs and kind of flame out, or just have one bad week and you lost in the playoffs.
Because even being like a Packer fan, like Aaron Rodgers, have you seen his playoff record? It's over 500, but it's very close. And it's just like, how is that with Aaron Rodgers?
It's so hard to win a Super Bowl in this league.
Yeah.
It's so, I mean, we're looking at the first repeat with the Chiefs in, how many years has it been since the last
team
repeat?
to repeat? Was it was it the Pats?
Did Brady repeat in the first?
Brady definitely did.
In the first era. So it's been around 20 years since the last repeat. So it's so hard to win a Super Bowl in this league. And then you've got your bye weeks. So that's the thing too. You could be you're one of those top teams. You're missing a playoff game every year.
Yeah.
And then, you've got to make it to the conference championship to have a win on your record that year. So it's just, I wouldn't really look at an overall playoff record as something to determine a player's greatness, because it's different in this league.
The trolls love to bring.
I know.
God,
they look for anything.
On that note, Tom Brady playoff record 35-13.
Unbelievable.
Well, see that, and that's why he's the GOAT. That's exactly why he's the GOAT, because the trolls can't find anything.
When you think about it, he's one game shy of 50 total playoff games. You know how like 50 total? No, one, right?
35 and 13.
35 and 13 or 14?
13.
Oh, 13. So 2 games shy.
That's 48.
That's just like, Aaron Rodgers, I don't think he's at 20. Like, honestly, I think if he is, he's like at 20. And just think that this guy, like Tom Brady, like 50, near 50 playoff appearances. It's incredible.
That's incredible.
It's incredible.
Yeah, one of those playoff losses right there behind you, AJ. Super Bowl 52
yes,
to the Philadelphia
yes,
Eagles,
sir.
baby. Just in case you've forgotten.
You remind us every show. No one's forgotten.
All right, that's our news for today. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
What's up, guys? This is former Rookie of the Year, All-Pro and 2-time Pro Bowl running back Clint Portis, and you are listening to the Benched Podcast.
All right, we are back, and for the rest of this episode, we are going to go over my personal top 10 list. This is not Angel's Heavenly 10. This is AJ's...
Wow,
what are we calling this?
Put me on the spot right there, man.
AJ's awesome 10.
AJ's beloved 10.
We're going to come up with a better name. This is my top 10
Still
list.
pending.
My top 10 power rankings going into next season. I'm just going to list this off and then see what you guys say about it.
Yeah, I'm ready for this one. Let's go.
All right, number 10, I've got the New York Jets. Jets, Jets. I can't wait to talk about this. Number 9, I've got the Cleveland Browns. At number 8, we got the Cincinnati Bengals. Number 7, the Baltimore Ravens. At number 6, the Houston Texans. Going into the top 5, number 5, we've got the Green Bay Packers. Number 4, my home, maybe I'm a little homer here, Philadelphia Eagles. Not my home, but my squad.
You're not from Philly.
Wish I was sometimes. Number 3, the Detroit Lions. Number 2, San Francisco 49ers. And number 1, the Kansas City Chiefs. So this list kind of, not on purpose, it kind of created some tears, some personal tears of mine.
I think naturally that just...
Yeah. So at number 10, we've got the squeaked in there tier. So I flirted with the Bills, flirted with the Rams.
Yeah.
I flirted with the Steelers. Now, the Steelers is the team I'd like to put there, but when we don't know what that quarterback situation is. If they come out and say Justin Fields is the guy, then I'm putting the Steelers at number 10.
Wow. Okay.
That 7, 8, and 9 team, the Ravens, Bengals, Browns, that's my if everything goes right tier, then they'll be higher on this list. That. The Browns is Deshaun Watson for real. The Bengals, are they going to bring these guys back that are skipping OTAs right now? Can Joe Burrow stay healthy? Does he have an injury problem?
Yeah.
The Ravens, when are we going to see this unlocked offense from Lamar Jackson? Does Derrick Henry have something left in the tank? Yeah. Is Mark Andrews healthy? Can Zay Flowers take that next step? And then right above that at 5 and 6, I've got I believe tier.
Okay.
I believe in CJ Stroud. I believe in Jordan Love. I believe in both of these teams. Originally, I had them at 7 and 8 below the Ravens and the Bengals. I took a look at this list. I'm like, no, dude. And this is why I have them in the I believe tier.
Okay.
I think they're the real deal. I think they both take that next step. I don't think we see a sophomore slump from either of those guys. And above at the top 4, this is my I really believe, before it was the believe tier. These are the teams that I think can win a Super Bowl. I think these are the teams that the rest of the league will have to go through if they want to win a Super Bowl this year. That's the Eagles, the Lions, the 49ers, and the Chiefs. Comments, questions, concerns?
Well, I think right off the top, you mentioned it with the Ravens, especially. You know, it was called your if everything goes right.
Everything goes right.
The Ravens are one of those teams. You named all. You got Flowers. You got King Henry there. You know, everything goes right in Baltimore. They're a top 3.
Yeah.
They're a top 3. So that jumps off like the list almost immediately. Is my mic on?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, you're good. And then I looked at that, and then I look at the Bengals. The Bengals also too. It's crazy how those two teams, with all the talent that's wrapped up in there, they're on the lower half of because like let's say everyone's healthy there. Those two teams, you can make an argument. They bump probably the Lions and the Eagles to 4 and 5.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just. I mean, it's so. I have a little bit of concern with that. I understand your reasoning why you have them there, so I'm okay with that. Jets number 10. You do realize I watched every game that the man played before he went to the Jets, right? And statistically, last year, Jordan Love outplayed him with the same roster, or nearly the same roster. And I just seen Aaron Rodgers older, coming off an injury. Explain why you have him so much. And I mean, do you believe in the defense that much? Do you believe in Wilson? I'm like, why do the Jets take such a leap because Rodgers is back?
So it's a combination of everything you just said. They've got a very real defense.
Okay.
I don't want to look at last year because it was just a tire. You're coming off one of the most emotional nights that you could possibly have with that opening game,
right?
Where Rodgers tears his Achilles. There's no way they're coming back that season. There's no way they're putting it together that season.
Right. No, yeah.
I'm going to look at the season before. They finished 7 and 10 with Zach Wilson, Joe Flacco. They have third, I forget his name. Mike White. Mike White was quarterback in a couple games for them. They finished 7 and 10. That was Garrett Wilson. That was Breece Hall. That was Sauce Gardner's rookie years. They had a good team. We were excited for that team. Aaron Rodgers comes to town. People have the Jets in the top 5 last season. Aaron Rodgers gets hurt. So I'm looking at that team 2 years ago. You've got a young core that have all improved, a defense that's real, a retooled offensive line, and you've got a quarterback in Aaron Rodgers who is absolutely an upgrade from what they had in that year with Joe Flacco, Zach Wilson, and Mike White. Everybody, I took a look at the power rankings. I think it was NFL.com's power rankings. They had the Jets at number 20. I really, really believe in this team. I think they've got a complete roster.
Okay.
I love their roster. Aaron Rodgers doesn't need to be great. Aaron Rodgers needs to be good.
Okay, so he's not the missing piece then necessarily.
Right. It's not that he's the missing piece. Come back. It's not that the team is so reliant on him to be great for them to be a good team. I think this team is ready, built to make some noise. They just need somebody competent quarterbacking, and that's absolutely Aaron Rodgers.
I'd say, too, if I can, real quick, Aaron Rodgers, I think him just being there as well is a total game changer for the team. Not only him playing quarterback and being an obvious upgrade over anyone they've had there in the last 5 years, but also that kind of presence in the locker room, that kind of presence in the sideline when things are going wrong, a true leader, a Super Bowl winner. I think Aaron Rodgers' effect on this roster is much greater than just him playing quarterback.
And we've gotten past the star-struck, like Aaron Rodgers is here. We saw that in Hard Knocks last year. Okay, now we did that. We're excited he's here. Let's get to work now. Now let's get to work. We're not goo-goo gaga over Aaron Rodgers. Like Garrett Wilson, get to work. Breece Hall, get to work. I'm excited. I can't wait to see this team play.
I just tend though because you just mentioned that if Justin Fields is named the starter in Pittsburgh, that they would push the Jets off your list. So like, what's the difference there? Like,
so I love Pittsburgh's roster.
Because the way you talk about
coaching,
the Jets, it's like
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's because Pittsburgh kind of has everything. They've got everything right there. They don't know who their quarterback is.
Yeah.
And that's a huge deal.
Okay.
And it's not so much that it's not so much I'm taking Justin Fields as the quarterback over Aaron Rodgers. I'm taking the Pittsburgh Steelers organization and roster if they know who their quarterback is over the Jets.
Okay. I'm actually okay with that.
I had a question about the Ravens.
Okay.
Being at number 7, more the teams in front of them, specifically 5 and 6, the Packers and the Texans. Ravens last year 13-4, best record in the NFL. Mm-hmm. They only added people. They didn't lose. They lost defensive coordinator, but they get all their stars back. They re-signed everyone. They get Derrick Henry back. They get Mark Andrews back. Zay Flowers in the second year. I think a little disrespectful to the Ravens to put 2 teams above him. One of them they handled pretty easily in the playoffs. The other one we haven't seen make a deep run in the playoffs yet. I understand the Ravens always leave us with a bad taste in our mouth because of what they do in the playoffs every single year. But I think we're forgetting best record in the NFL last year.
Yeah, and I think that's just the nature of a top 10 list. We're talking about a top 10 here. When you have just that 10, like 7 and 8 looks so ugly. Yeah. Rather than if we've got 32 teams ranked, and it's not so much like a dislike for the Ravens. I just have such a love and belief for the Packers and the Texans for what's going on in those locker rooms with DeMeco Ryans, with Matt LaFleur, with the ascension of C.J. Stroud and Jordan Love. I think we've seen what the Ravens are over and over and over. Before the show, we forgot that Lamar Jackson won MVP. I pulled up his stats. He was number 16 in passing yards. Yes, it's not a passing award, but we've seen the same thing over and over with the Ravens. In the offseason, they talk about we're going to unlock the offense. We're going to be a passing offense. That didn't happen last year.
I think too, like the ceiling of what you're saying, the 2 guys are from Stroud and Love. We know, and not saying no disrespect to Lamar,
none whatsoever, none whatsoever.
But we're just saying those 2 teams that are in front of them, they're also a playoff team, and yeah, they did beat the Texans last year, but they're a playoff team. They're a young team. Honestly, there's nowhere else for those 2 teams to go but up. And right. I think essentially what you're saying is they're going to make that jump over the Ravens this year.
That's what I think. I really think they're the Packers and the Texans, the quarterbacks, the coaches with those I think they're going to make the jump. And again, it sucks because you make this list and it's like somebody's got to be at like number 8. Somebody's got to be at number 7.
Someone has to.
I love. It was such a hard list to make. Originally, I did have the Ravens at number 5, above both the teams you mentioned, the Packers and the Texans. I took another look at the list, and this just seemed more right to me.
Yeah,
I think I could have predicted this how this list would go because of how last year ended. The 2 teams you have above them, there's going to be no more hype teams in those 2 teams.
Right.
Coming in this year, they're going to get all the hype, especially the young quarterbacks who finished that well, played that well in the playoffs. I think it may be a little bit of you being impacted by the hype and kind of being used to the Ravens. But we'll see. Yeah. I mean, 13-4. The other question I had was my Buffalo Bills not be on this list. You mentioned them real quick, how you considered them. I have personally, I'll let you comment on this after. I would have them over the Jets, Browns, and the Bengals.
And that's fair. Looking at how they finished the season last year, they were looking like they were going to miss the playoffs. Came back, won a playoff game or did they face the Chiefs in that first week? I can't remember. It's just so hard. They gutted their roster. We don't know. We've got a lot of hope for Dalton Kincaid, right? Like he's going to be Josh Allen's Travis Kelce. We don't know. Keon Coleman. We don't know. James Cook. Can he handle a full load?
He was supposed to handle it last year.
Right. Yeah. Right. And while he had a very good season, he's still they didn't believe in him enough to give him the ball, give him 20 carries a game. If we're doing the tier below this, that's the I need to see it to believe it tier.
Dang, Josh Allen. I know. He might be the most talented quarterback in the league right now. I don't know. It's just hard for me to leave Josh Allen off this list. But I get it. For the reasons you said, it's just I think Josh Allen, MVP candidate this year. And you forgot to mention wide receiver addition, Mac Hollins. Show some respect.
Yeah, former Philadelphia Eagle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, the only thing I think of Mac Hollins is him catching a touchdown and flossing in the corner of the end zone.
Gosh, I hate this generation.
All right, so we've got up Angels' most recent. This is post-free agency, post-draft. Angels Heavenly 10 compared with my list. And
look where he has the Ravens.
Yeah, and honestly, I think if I talk to Angel now, I think he changed that. I think he dropped them down. He's got them over the Niners.
I mean, he was also the one too that kind of he didn't say this directly, but he had mentioned that the addition of King Henry isn't that big as we think it is.
Right.
So like even if you want to factor in, well, they added like the running back now to help Lamar. It's like, well, even Angel doesn't believe in him. So yeah, I think he could probably talk him down.
I think we talk Angel down from number 3. So a little difference is he's got the Steelers on this list. I have the Jets at number 10.
You talked about possibly putting the Steelers on.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, so I really the teams that he has on this list that I don't have are the Steelers and the Bills. Both teams I flirted with at number 10. You know what? I had the Bills at number 9 at one point, and then brought up the Browns. And number 10 is just a fun spot, so I really wanted to put the Jets there.
I have a question for both of you. What team on this list is most likely to not be in the top 15 at the end of the year?
Oh, boy.
Of my list or Angel's list or overall?
Your list.
I would say just because it's the AFC, the bottom 2 teams.
Yeah.
The bottom. You look at the Browns division. You know, if the Bengals can make that comeback, if we're talking about like,
somebody's got to falter in that division.
Yeah, like
you can't.
I think that the Browns can be the one to miss, and the Jets. I mean, again, if we're talking about 3 potential teams that are coming out of the North, you got the Bills. I mean, Joey's Bills, who he thinks is going to be, incredible. The Jets can just fall off the playoffs, not simply because they're not a playoff team, but just process of elimination. The Jets can fall off.
Yeah, the AFC's tough.
The Dolphins also not on your list. Any flirtation there with the Dolphins and you?
None whatsoever. Is the Dolphins on anybody's top 10 list?
No one likes the Dolphins. Am I the Dolphins guy? Like, I love the Dolphins. I don't think
they're
top
just
10.
not for real. I look at that roster. Dude, how many of us really believe in Tua to win? Right? He can put up the stats. He led the league in passing yards, if I'm not mistaken, last season. He can put up the stats. Do we believe in Tua to win? Right? Do we believe Tyreek Hill even wants to be an NFL player past this year, right? Can Jalen Waddle stay healthy? Who's their running? Do we believe in Raheem Mostert to continue on from last year?
They lost Christian Wilkins.
Yeah, right.
Wilkins,
I don't know. I just don't.
Again, I'm not putting him on my top 10. I'm just saying, I do like.
I don't think anybody's putting the Dolphins on their top 10.
No, that'd be pretty insane if someone did.
I did. Like they came up for like a half a second. I was like, it's the Dolphins.
Okay, but like, where actually do you have? I mean, I know it's a top 10 show.
I think they're definitely like 15, 14. Like on that top half.
That's exactly where.
Half.
That's exactly where I would have them. I would have them there too.
Okay, so I got a team here that isn't on your list, and I think could be a top 5 team this year.
Oh,
it's really spicy. It is the Los Angeles Rams.
They are number 11.
I'm big on the Rams.
They're number 11. Yeah, no, and I know you are. So I had the Rams. So okay, my first draft, I had the Bills at number 9 and the Rams at number 10. Steelers was one of those teams I kept looking at, but I was like, they're not going to be up there just because they're going into training camp not knowing who their quarterback is. Maybe that's not a bad thing, but there's going to be that. Russell Wilson comes in. There's going to be that talk. If he has one slightly bad game, all right, when's Justin Fields? They're going to be hearing that talk all year. So the Steelers didn't quite make it there. The Rams, I love this team. I really do love this team. I have them right at number 11.
Let me tell you, man. Let me tell you about the Los Angeles Rams.
Here we go.
They are coming.
Here we go.
That you don't believe in the Rams?
I mean, I feel like the Rams are in the same spot as the Dolphins. We're told every single year.
Wow.
We're told, and yes, they have Super Bowl 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, 3 years ago.
Totally fine. But I think the Rams are in the same boat as we are told every year they're going to be a Super Bowl team, and they get to the playoffs, and they're just one of the first round teams that actually get out. I'm not a believer in Stafford. I love Nakua. I think he's definitely one of the best. Guys.
You can't just say that and then keep moving. What about Stafford? Do you not believe it?
Again, kind of how you put the Tua thing, and I know this sounds crazy because he just won one, but from this point on, I can't see him actually leading a team to a Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl.
See, I
honestly think his, and again, it's so hard to say that without it sounding like I'm crapping on the guy. I'm not crapping on the guy. I'm simply saying I think his best days are behind him. Is that at least fair?
That's fair, but I think to me, it's the opposite. You said you compared him to what I said about Tua. Where what I said about Tua is he can put up the stats, but I don't see him as a winner.
Well, no, I was talking more about that. He could put up the stats and now. I'm just saying I don't think he can lead a team through a playoff run and then through a conference championship game and then through the biggest one of them all. I just don't think he can.
I think it's the opposite. I think he still can. I think he's still got that toughness. I think he's still got that mentality. He's got the coach.
Definitely competitive. He's definitely one of the more competitive quarterbacks in the league.
He's still got it.
Yeah.
Last year we were talking about them having a top 5 pick, and they made it to the playoffs.
Last year threw for nearly 4,000 yards, 24 touchdowns, 11 picks. And to your point, in the playoffs, threw for 367 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions.
And who they play in the playoffs?
The Detroit Lions.
Wow, yeah, that homecoming game.
Had 120 passer rating. I mean, I just don't know what about him says that he can't still do in the playoffs.
Again, man, I'm saying I just believe his best days are behind him. I don't think he's going to top all his...
Like right behind him, as in the last game he played.
I mean, no, he's starting to get at that age now. Like we were talking about, who were we talking about? Aaron Rodgers, where it's like, yeah, Aaron Rodgers is at that point in his career now where it's like, yo, your last best game might have been the last game you actually played. I think Stafford is starting to reach that age too. As they get older, that starts to happen where it's a dramatic drop off.
I didn't know you hated the Rams this much.
I don't hate there's no hate on the Rams. I'm gonna go watch them play.
Oh, wait, of course you do. He's an ex-Lion.
Oh man, Gabe's still holding on to that.
it.
Come on,
You guys find every loophole just to get land there.
we're not talking about Jaden Reed, Gabe.
I got one more for you, AJ, about your list.
Okay.
I'm scared for the Bengals. I'm scared for their season.
I know you are, yeah.
I am scared that there is a disaster season on the horizon here for the Cincinnati Bengals.
So again, that tier is my if everything goes right tier. So I'm looking at this from a let's say from a video game standard, right? You get the new Madden, you pop it in. Everybody's healthy. Everybody's on their roster.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their contract, right? If we want to talk what ifs, then that completely they're not even touching this list. If we want to talk like, well, what if they trade T. Higgins? What if Jamar Chase requests a trade?
Yeah.
Trey Hendrickson, right?
Right.
Yeah. What if side, if Joe Burrow's not healthy, that disaster season is very real. It's a very real possibility. This is my list here is if everything goes right, if we're going into the season with everything on paper being what's on the field, then this is where I have them. But absolutely, it could be a
Bengals
disaster.
and Ravens, right?
Bengals, Ravens, and the Browns.
And the Browns.
Yeah,
Okay, the Browns. Okay.
All right, so that was my top 10 power rankings. Next, we're going to move on. We got a couple quick way too early awards. What's going on over here?
Gabe, I'm producer today, right? So he looks over at me and he's like, what's the time? And I'm just like...
A little context on that. When we're over there and Joey's hosting,
I'm like...
Gabe is time!
Joey!
And Joey's trying to host.
Joey, time! Sorry. I just want to make sure you're not
you see how hard it is, though?
My bad, I have no idea what time.
says it on
It's
the board.
7:32.
We're still good.
on the board.
Cameras are on. We're still
All right, we're
rolling.
so good. Just go.
Okay, so we're going to go through my way too early award picks. For MVP this season, my pick is C.J. Stroud. I'm gonna go through the list.
Talk about that hype.
Goodness gracious.
Offensive Player of the Year, I'm going with CeeDee Lamb.
I like that.
Defensive Player of the Year, T.J. Watt. Should've been
Well-deserved.
last year's.
Well-deserved.
And Coach of the Year to pair with the MVP.
With the MVP,
D'Amico
makes
Ryans. Lay it on me.
Well, you're wrong about the MVP. It's going to be Jordan Love. No, I mean, Stroud is a safe bet, but I mean, how safe exactly is Stroud at the end?
And these aren't really my safe bets. Like I'm not going to go out and put money on it.
But like I'm saying, if you had to like die on this hill, how safe is Stroud? Like honestly.
Okay, so if we're going with my previous list, right? We had the Chiefs at number 1.
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes. He's always in the conversation.
It's kind of like Christian McCaffery.
I'm not going to put Patrick Mahomes on the list.
Gotcha.
Right?
Okay.
So number 2 team I had the Niners.
Okay.
No one's ever going to take Brock Purdy seriously as an MVP candidate.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe unfair. Number 3, we've got the Lions, Jared Goff. I'm gonna share something about Jared Goff in a little bit. Number 4, the Eagles. We brought in Saquon Barkley. I don't know if Jalen Hurts is going to have the rushing touchdowns. He's not going to have the passing numbers. Talk MVP.
The numbers won't be.
Number 5 is the Packers. Number 6 we had the Texans. My dark horse pick is Jordan Love.
Okay.
And I think if I'm going off of the list that I just put together, C.J. Stroud should be putting up the numbers to. Gosh, man. C.J. Stroud should be putting up the numbers. He's got Stephon Diggs. We've got Nico Collins. We've got Tank Dell. We've got Joe Mixon in the house. What's the name of their tight end?
So is it just because their roster? I mean, again, it's your list. It's totally fine. But you brought up the Packers. That's right behind them. The Green Bay Packers. That's right behind them. Okay. Is it just because their roster is better named than the Packers roster at this point?
Better named or better?
Or even better? Someone that's well known. I mean,
if C.J. Stroud is making the ascension that I'm picking him to make or hoping for him to make based on my list, then he's a real MVP candidate next year.
How close is Jordan Love? I'm just curious. I just need to know.
Incredibly close.
Okay.
Incredibly close.
I can live with that. I can live with that.
Another dark horse, and I got some stats to go along with this. Another dark horse candidate I have for MVP is Jared Goff. I would love to see.
Here we go.
I would love to see what his odds are.
Okay.
And go put down $500 on Jared Goff to win MVP. Okay, so let me pull up what I had here.
His stats aren't they're actually not too bad. I was actually looking at them.
They're pretty great. Okay, so he was number 2 in the league in passing yards last year. He threw for 4,575 yards.
That's a quiet. That's a quiet
right,
4,500
right.
yards right there.
He threw 30 touchdowns, good for number 4 in the league.
Okay.
That's behind Brock Purdy, Jordan Love, and Dak Prescott. We're looking. So let's say we can count on 1,500 yards from Amon-Ra St. Brown. Maybe 1,700.
Yeah, okay.
We can count on 1,000 yards from Sam Laporta. Maybe 500 yards from Jahmyr Gibbs.
I think those tight end days are dead. But okay.
Really?
I don't think that with how fast these defenses are, I don't think you're not going to see a tight end like Gronk anymore. Like
Sam Laporta had 900 yards last year.
Okay, but I mean, you're talking about the number one guy going for over 15. You said 1,600 or something like that.
Amon-Ra, he had 1,500 yards last season.
And I'm perfectly fine with that.
And Sam Laporta had 900 yards last season.
You think Goff's going to support that to where they're both going to be elevated?
With the exit of Josh Reynolds, who had, I want to say, 800 yards last season.
That's a fair point, actually.
Yep.
Okay.
They didn't replace him with anybody.
I'm okay with that.
So right there, I think he absolutely can put up the same numbers he put up last year. If this Lions team, what they've done the last 3 seasons, they've ascended every year, right? Okay. We had their terrible season. We had the Hard Knock season where we started to believe in them, and we had last year. If they're going to take another step with this roster, Jared Goff supports this offense.
Yeah.
And if they're one of the top 3 teams in the NFL, how can you ignore this guy for the MVP conversation?
So the numbers are there, the story's there, which is what
right. The numbers are there, the story's there. We talked about it. It's an MVP. It's a narrative.
Yeah.
It's a narrative now. We forgot that Lamar Jackson won MVP. I think Lamar Jackson won MVP because nobody else was a clear MVP last year.
CMC.
Right. Honestly,
I got some Vegas odds for you boys.
Okay.
This is according to FanDuel, not a sponsor. Number 1, plus 500, Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Number 2, plus 800, that's Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills. Number 3, the Bengals quarterback making the comeback, Joe Burrow. Then your boys, C.J. Stroud, plus 1,000. Jordan Love right behind, plus 1,400. That's how Vegas sees it, right behind him. I got Hurts, Jackson, Purdy. Way down number 16, Jared Goff.
And what's the odds?
Jared Goff's odds are plus 3,500.
I'll tell you what, man.
Let me do this math real quick.
You're going to be a very rich man if you put that bet down. I mean, that's pretty crazy. Those names that come like before him, you did say it's your dark horse, though, right?
Yeah.
So that's fine. I wishful thinking, Joe. I mean, I don't
go put 500 down on Jared Goff. He wins that MVP. I come away with $17,500.
I'll split that with you.
I'll say this: the league looks like it's pretty much overall being disrespectful. Guys who are favored above him to get MVP.
Oh yeah.
Anthony Richardson in his second year. I don't know about that. Trevor Lawrence. What?
No.
Trevor Lawrence.
I'm not buying that no more.
Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert, and Brock Purdy.
Justin Herbert, I don't understand. We'll talk a little bit about the love from all the power rankings on the Chargers and all the odds makers on the Chargers. I don't get what they see in this team. All right, moving on to Defensive Player of the Year. I'm going with a pretty obvious choice here. T.J. Watt of the Pittsburgh Steelers, everybody's choice. Arguably should have won last year. I don't think anything's changed as far as who he is as a part of his defense. Yeah. The numbers are going to be there. I think this is an obvious choice.
We talk about how these awards are becoming more of a positional award. Mm-hmm. Any worry with Bosa?
Right.
Can Bosa outplay him?
I mean, he absolutely
can he outshine him?
He absolutely can, but
also pass rusher from the Lions. What's his name?
Aiden Hutchinson. I thought about Aiden Hutchinson as a dark horse. I think the odds makers have Aiden Hutchinson at least in the top 5, and they have everybody's favorite defensive player, number 1,
Rashawn Gary,
Micah Parsons.
I know I'm sitting with Eagle fans right now, so I don't have to say too much. But yeah, okay.
Do you believe
he sucks?
I saw him play against my Packers. I didn't see him one time be threatless.
When at what point?
Not one time did I feel like, man, we got to slow this guy down.
Right.
It was just like another game. And the pass rusher too, especially that position. There's certain spots like on like a roster that you just have to have. You have to have your left tackle, the quarterback side, obviously, and you have to have a pass rusher.
Yeah.
Pass rusher is even more over like a cornerback and stuff like that. Because
Right.
a pass rusher can make bad cornerbacks look good. And when I just think about like, I don't know, I mean, I guess it's already been said.
Micah
It's just very
Parsons to
important.
me is that kid who just dominates on the playground when the teams are all mixed up. Like there's some third graders in there, there's some fourth graders, 1 or 2 fifth graders, and Micah Parsons is going off.
Yeah.
But then when you get all fifth grade team, extra mid.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, where did you have him, or where was he on the list?
The
on
Vegas odd
list?
makers, I'm number 1.
No.
Number 1.
I got the odds for you here. Plus 600, that is Micah Parsons. God. That's a terrible bet as well.
Yeah.
700, plus 700 is Myles Garrett. And then your boy, plus 800, TJ Watt. Tied with him is Nick Bosa, plus 800. And then my guy, my dark horse, who I think is better than Nick Bosa, could be the defensive player of the year, Mr. Mad Max Crosby.
Oh,
And Max,
I forgot about Max Crosby.
doesn't get a lot of credit, but might get. He might have he might have a crazy year this year. Having what's his name from Miami on
Christian
the other side.
Wilkins.
Yeah, Christian. Yeah.
Having him on the other side of him, that might free up some one-on-ones right there. And that's the guy that my Packers played last year. Where it was like, God,
So that's what I was about to
we
say.
gotta stop this guy.
You talk about Micah Parsons. You've never watched a game where it's like, they got to change up the game plan
Yeah,
to stop this guy.
we had to
Max
change it up
Crosby
for
is
him.
absolutely a guy who can change a game just by himself.
We literally had to like start motioning like a tight end to go on that side
Yep.
just to slow him down. He was still getting in the backfield. I love that.
That's what I'm saying with Micah Parsons, though. There's certain guys who will rise to the occasion. I think the guys in the league right now are TJ Watt and Max Crosby. Put those guys in a dogfight of the game, and we see the freaking guy plays on the Raiders where he's been the only guy there for a number of years now. And TJ Watt plays in the AFC North, which we all think is the toughest division in the league. I think those two guys are above Parsons and Watt.
Yep.
I like it. Okay.
We got some nice bets to
For some
down.
context here, you asked about Aiden Hutchinson. He is number 6.
Okay, right outside the top 5. All right, last here on the list is my pick for Coach of the Year. Another probably obvious choice is DeMeco Ryans. One of those like 3 coaches that they're talking about. DeMeco Ryans, they're talking about Matt LaFleur, and Dan Campbell's always in that conversation. I'm kind of surprised he didn't win one last year or even the year before. Again, if we're going with my list, my previous list, I had the Texans at 6 or 5 or 6 right below that top tier. If C.J. Stroud's in the MVP conversation, DeMeco Ryans needs to be in the Coach of the Year conversation. He was in the conversation last year. Maybe the runner-up, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, this is your world, you know. So if everything goes according to plan, if Stroud's the MVP, you look at that division, not a lot going on there outside of them. You know, the Texans can be that jump team to go from, I don't know how many games they won last year, but they could easily win 13 games
13,
this year. And we're talking about making a big playoff run, possibly getting a rematch with the Ravens. Now, if they get like the rematch with the Ravens and they're able to beat the Ravens,
Right.
that'll be another storyline to add to DeMeco Ryans. So, yeah, I'm perfectly fine with this. I like Matt LaFleur, but I'm just a homer there. But I think Ryan would be a perfect pick for them if all goes according to plan.
Number 1 on the list, Jim Harbaugh, plus 600. I don't understand that.
I don't get it. I mean, great coach. When he did his thing in college, did his thing when he was in the NFL.
Yeah.
You look at this roster.
Yeah, I mean, especially if he's the number one guy. What they're saying is you turn it around the moment you get here.
Right.
I don't think that happens at all.
How many games do they need to win for him to win Coach of the Year?
How many games did they win last year?
I don't know, but they need to win the AFC West to convince me, probably.
Like 12 wins. And
Joey, you have them
At the
taking
very
that
least.
dramatic jump.
Okay, no, I had them as the most likely last to
Joey's
first
the
team.
Chargers guy.
The most likely last to first team is what I said. I don't think it's very likely that it happens in the grand scheme of things.
right.
Jim Harbaugh on top of this list is crazy. Number 2 is your boy, LaFleur. Crammed in your cram hole, LaFleur. And then DeMeco Ryans, plus 1,200. Matt Eberflus at number 4. If he's there, he was carried every step of the way.
Jump on my back.
And then also rookie head coach Raheem Morris, number 5, Atlanta
yeah.
Falcons.
I don't know where he fell on the list, but my dark horse pick here is Shane Steichen. He came into the Colts organization. They lost Anthony Richardson, 4th game of the year, I believe. Gardner Minshew.
Such a shame, too.
I know.
We're really excited about him.
I know. Gardner Minshew comes in, keeps the offense afloat.
Yeah.
Did they make the playoffs?
No.
They were close. They were close. They were that 7 seed towards the end of the year. I think they lost it out in week 18.
Which tells you a lot. If the quarterback stays healthy, and they're
Right.
fighting for the 7th seed spot, what are they?
And that's what's key. We talk about these awards being a storyline, right?
Yeah.
If Anthony Richardson stays healthy, if he's any bit of the flash that we saw, and the Colts are one of those top teams, we're gonna forget that they lost him last year.
Colts?
But we're gonna see that jump in the record. And
Colts are in the South, right?
Yeah,
AFC
South.
So they're right there with the Texans.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow, there's a fun story for you.
The Colts were one play away from making the playoffs last year.
Wow.
Lost it on a 4th and 1. So one play.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, I watched that game.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Colts. I mean, we're not talking about them necessarily, but a lot of faith over there.
No, if they can make
we
some
have,
noise,
we have a lot of hope in it.
if they can make some noise and show an improvement over last year, I think Shane Steichen can absolutely be in that coach of the year.
Yeah, that's why we brought it up, because Shane Steichen. He's tied for 6 with Robert Saleh in the Coach of the Year odds.
Robert Saleh. I don't think anybody's Robert Saleh, coach of the year.
Well, I mean, you do have him at 10.
That's not based on Robert Saleh, though.
Yeah, well, I mean,
That's based on the roster.
I mean, neither is the Bears guy.
That's true. That's true.
I think Shane Steichen. I think Shane Steichen is Kevin O'Connell East. Does that make sense? I'm not sure. Where
yeah.
Geography wise, how that works. Basically, he's the AFC version of Kevin O'Connell. I think he's just a brilliant mind, no matter who gets his hands on.
Yep,
If he
yep.
ever gets his hands on Anthony Richardson, if he is the real deal, I think it's going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's that guy. He's the guy. When you're talking to him, you know, like, this is the smartest guy in the room. Like, I'm not going to outsmart this guy.
Yeah.
He's a football nerd. Like, if you've ever seen him speak in meetings and with the team, like, he just lives and breathes the sport. I'd love to play for a guy like that.
Yeah.
Also, we see what happened to the Eagles' offense once he left.
Right, exactly. Also, it's been addressed. it's been addressed.
Kellen Moore.
Shut up.
Much better than who was our guy? Brian Johnson? Ben Johnson? No, not Ben Johnson. Brian Johnson.
Oh, I have a beef with that dude. Okay, because I love AJ Brown on my team last year, and just championship week doesn't show up whatsoever.
Yeah, remember when I beat you? Remember?
Yes,
Remember?
yeah. And don't worry,
Remember?
Just give it a couple more months. It's gonna be sliding back over here.
I got a quick way to end the show. You guys want it real quick?
Yeah.
Can you name the last 3 offensive players of the year?
Okay, so we've got Christian McCaffery last year,
Yes.
obviously.
Hold on. Let me see if I can get one. Is Justin Jefferson there?
2022, Justin
Yeah,
Jefferson.
no, Justin Jefferson was there.
So one more year back. Had a huge year. Huge year.
Wait. So it was McCaffrey last year, Jefferson the year before that.
And the guy before.
It's
Huge year.
2021.
Was that COVID year?
Who won the Super Bowl that year?
Was that the Bucks?
No.
You asking me the
Bucks
team?
won 2020. 2021 was the Rams. Oh, Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp.
Oh, there you go.
Huge
Good
year.
one. There you go. Yeah.
Oh, nice. I like that. All right, that is our show for you guys today. Thanks for joining us. Hey, man, our first time hosting.
Well done. Well done,
Thank
boys.
you, sir. Thank you. It was fun. We might do this a little more often, right? A little producer takeover.
Wow, the boss is over there.
Give the boss a break.
He's not really giving us a thumbs up.
Hey, give us a like, give us a follow, subscribe, leave us a comment, leave us a review. Thanks for being with us today. See you guys.
Peace.